Yeah, with some sausage. Yeah, 2 sausage links, bacon, eggs, pancakes, French toast, grilled pork chop, and some what else? Oh yeah, Belgian waffles with whipped cream and strawberries and cherries. Yeah, and then I'm gonna poop on all of it. Yeah, and then we're gonna feed it to Uncle Artie. It's gonna be great. Dang nabbit, are you guys here again? Ez, why do you do this to me every morning? What a pain in the rectum, almost killed him. Hey man, guess what? Hey, knock knock. Who's there? I'm a pimp and you're a simp, and I've been eating all your shrimp. Yeah, man. Anyway, it's Thursday, the Thursday. That's right, and we're gonna go home early. Goodbye. I guess we're doing a full regular show today. Hey, I don't know what else to say, man, other than I don't want to be here, and this show sucks. Goodbye. That's up.
There go by. Hi, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear about the frauditor that was afraid of escalators? He took steps to avoid them. By the way, David, I responded to your email. All right, so anyway, let's see. We got Greg Jonick. What's up? Oh, wait, I owe David a happy dance. Let's go. All right, yes. Greg Jonick, number 2. Hey, hey. Kingstew 2000 said, good morning, all. That's everybody. That's all of us. B. Burns II said, hey, all, I'm doing my utmost to keep my eyes open. All right, good job, buddy. You ever see Clockwork Orange? They got little things that could hold your eyes open for you. Ooh, oh, man, maybe you don't want that. All right, let's see. Greg Jonick, David E. Persons, Lexi Ann's in the house. Great to see you. Terry Barnes, good morning and God bless. Good morning and God bless. God bless you, sir. Mr. Thomas said, good morning, Hez and the Rash family. In Florida, people don't ask what flavor of the cake. They ask if it's Publix cake or not. I'll tell you what, Mr. Thomas, in the 2 years that I was living down there before I came back up here, I know exactly what that joke means. That's a fact. What flavor is it? Who cares? Did you buy it at Publix? Yes. All right, let's have some. Let's go. B. Barnes, Donna Ray. All right. Always great to see you. B. Barnes, Greg Jonick. All right. And it looks like that gets us all caught up. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Thursday. And, man, this week has been different. Dang nabbit. It's definitely going by real fast, which is fine. We got the air quality things going where they're talking about the Canadian and smoke coming down here, so everyone's afraid that it's going to be crazy. They're shutting down all the outdoor events at the schools and stuff. I don't know. But so far, yesterday I was outside. The skies were blue. It was beautiful. Chef M80 says, good morning, dad joke. Good morning, dad joke. Not all construction work is equally enjoyable. For example, enlarging a hole is boring, but fastening pieces of metal together is riveting. Yes. Yes, indeed it is. Indeed it is. That's awesome. I like that. Boring. Riveting. Yep. So anyway, hey, Katie Zed's in the house. What's up, Katie? Always great to see you. But so yeah, so we got the weather warnings out here, which is whatever. But for the moment, everything's okay. But yeah, this whole week, the show was shorter because my older son was here and I had to take him to school. But he's not here today. I don't know if he's going to be here tomorrow, but he's not here now. Just me and Minnie has, so I could do the regular, 7:20 happy dance. Yay! Oh, well, I'm saying yay. So that's good fun. That's good fun. And then last night, it was cool because we've been watching, like, we always watch shows like before we go to bed, like we have our show that we watch or whatever. We do movies. We've been doing TV shows. And a few weeks ago we started doing some Twilight Zone stuff. And Minnie was like, I don't know if I like this show. I'm like, why? It's like, because it's always got a sad ending. There's always something bad. It's always a bad ending. Like, I'm like, are there any, then my daughter says, are there any Twilight Zones with a happy ending? And I'm like, well, actually, yeah. And they're like, well, let's see one. So last night we watched the Christmas episode with Art Carney, where he plays the shopping mall Santa. And it's like, yeah, Twilight Zone with a happy ending. It was cool. It was, even though, like, normally I wouldn't show them that episode unless it was Christmas time, but it was fun. It was nice to see, a Twilight Zone episode that had a happy ending. And then it made my daughter curious and she looked it up. And I had never thought about this before, but she Googled how many Twilight Zone episodes have a happy ending. And out of almost 200 episodes, like 157, I think, 10 have a happy end. Only 10. But they are there. They do exist. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, and then after that, we watched some Twin Peaks. And then episode 18 of season 3, which is the only one my daughter had never seen. So we watched, her and I watched that one. And she's like, wait, what happened? And I'm like, what? Why are you asking me, man? I'm not David Lynch. But no, it was fun. It was fun. Good stuff. But it doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a guest again today. Once again, the one and only. This is not a drill. I mean, David Persons. Hello.
Yeah, hello. It's not a drill. This is the real thing.
I love it.
And I remember to use the right microphone this time, so I don't sound like I'm farting in a cave somewhere.
Hey, as long as you're not using the left microphone, you're all good.
That's good. Yeah. And who wants a happy ending anyway? Come on, man. I mean, really, they're boring.
Well, that's it. Like movies and TV shows that have, like, because it's so common that when something doesn't have a happy ending, it's like cool because it's like you don't really see that too often.
I think you're right about David Lynch, and if you look at it, what's the guy's name? John Carpenter and some of those other people. That's why one of the reasons their movies were so popular is because they didn't always have. Remember how Ghost of Mars ends?
Yeah, well, that's it. It's not following the formula to the letter.
So how are you? Are you doing well today?
I'm doing. I got. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, they're fine. They're fine. The Pope is fine. The Bears,
Oh, Bears. That's right.
The Pope.
The Pope. Oh, Bears. Oh, man. Chicago, born and raised. All right. Katie said loves the Twilight Zone. Her favorite episode is when the guy breaks. Yep, we watched that one. We just watched that one the other day.
A good one.
Burgess Meredith, who plays that character. What's that?
Oh no, that's a good one. My favorite one though is when the monsters come to Maple Street.
That one, we watched that one too. Yep, that one's awesome. Yeah, oh man, that one's real good. Yeah, see, there's what, for me, the Twilight Zone episodes that I really like the most are the ones where you can tell there's some kind of deeper social or political message. Like that one and that one, both of them, like there's something else going on besides just the story, because there are a lot of episodes where it's like, oh, the aliens come down, but even that one, like the one you're talking about, the aliens are involved in that one, but like all they have to do basically is shut off their electricity and then just watch us kill ourselves, each other. You know?
Well, and Sterling, you know, with the monsters on Maple Street, Sterling very clearly pretty much stated that was about McCarthyism and people's blind willingness. You know, I mean, a lot of those shows were about relevant social issues of the time. They really were.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. That's one of the things about like the science fiction genre in general, is that on its highest level, it's basically saying, okay, like, just say, for example, like if it was in the 60s, like, oh, we want to make an anti-Vietnam movie, but we don't want, to get in trouble for, well, we'll make it about a war in space between aliens. And then no one will come after us saying, oh, you're able to slip in messages intentionally. That's what Star Trek was all about.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's the whole reason the Star Trek was successful. I mean, they took issues like, you remember the first interracial kiss, I mean, all that stuff. If they hadn't had that in outer space, people would have freaked out. But it was in outer space, so who cared, right?
Right, exactly. Yep. And so they let it slide. Highway Star is here, ladies and gentlemen. Highway Star, yeah.
Highway Star, hell yeah, sir.
All right.
Great guy.
The Lessonators here as well. All right. So anyway, but yeah, that's great stuff. Great stuff. Lots of fun watching those shows. And I don't know. We got
another show I miss a lot. It was kind of silly, but it was a really good show. Was What's My Line? Remember that one?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they dressed up and it was classy, and then it was. I mean, all you're trying to do is figure out what somebody was doing for a living. How hard was it? And the most you could get was $50, so there was no scandal involved. It was just they still have reruns of that on YouTube. I watch them all the time. They're great.
And isn't that the one where like every once in a while you would get someone on there that like now we recognize them, like somehow they became a celebrity after the show? Yeah.
There's a fair number of those. So they always had a celebrity that they'd have to wear blindfolds and figure out who it was. Right. And a lot of those were not that famous at the time, but now are really super famous.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, and especially back then, because nowadays, especially like with streaming and stuff, TV is just as respectable, if not more so, than movies.
Yeah,
but back in those days, like if you were an actor, TV was beneath you. So that's why a lot of these actors who were known at the time, once they became famous, were like, all right, I do movies.
I'm not getting on that. And but they had a lot of fairly. I mean, they had the celebrity thing. I remember one time John Wayne was on there, and everybody freaked out. It was but and that's back when TV was TV. I mean, I don't know if you're old enough to remember that, but I remember back if the president came on television, you either had Hogan's Heroes on Channel 39 or you watched the president. That was it.
Yeah, well. When I grew up with, there was only 3 channels, plus, I mean, technically, like the local channels, like being in Chicago, I could get PBS, I could get WGN, I could get the local Chicago stations, Channel 50 or whatever. But nationally, there was only 2, 5, 7, that's ABC, NBC, CBS, and that was it. There was no Fox yet.
No Fox, no CW, none of that stuff.
No. And so, like you said, like if the president's speech was on, it was like you either watching that or maybe one channel has a Hogan Heroes rerun or something, or Little House on the Prairie.
There's anything wrong with Hogan's Heroes. That was a great.
No, not at all.
That was so profoundly stupid. It was great. I mean, it was just it was great.
I used to love the Gong Show.
Oh yeah, the Gong Show was good too.
I used to watch that all the time.
And the guy remember when they had the guy with the hook? That was
pull it off the stage. Yep.
Yeah, pull him off the stage because they were just some of those folks. Oh, where did they get some of those acts? They must have they must have had to go searching for some of those folks to be that bad. I mean,
did you know that there was a reboot of that show recently?
Oh, really? I didn't see that. I didn't know. Really?
I don't know how long it lasted. I just know that the host, I don't remember his name, but he was this Scottish dude. And the whole thing was that And if you want, like the first time I saw it, like I was flipping channels and I said, "Whoa, the Gong Show? What? They're bringing back the Gong Show?" And I watched an episode, and about 10 minutes into it, I realized I know who this guy is. And then I did some research, and sure enough, the reboot of the Gong Show again. I don't know how long it lasted, if it was just episodes or seasons. I don't know because I only saw it once or twice. But I googled it and I found out that the host
It was Mike
is
Myers,
Mike
wasn't it?
Myers.
That's
as
what I
the
thought. Yeah, that's
character
what I
covered
thought I
in makeup.
remembered.
Yeah,
I do remember that. That's right.
yeah. Look
But
at
he
this.
was doing a Scottish guy. What was the
Right.
Scottish guy's name? Tommy.
Yeah, he was
something.
playing a character.
The character's name was Tommy something or another. Tommy Maitland. That was it. Tommy Maitland. I remember that now.
Yeah, that was so. I wonder whatever happened to that show. I never really thought about it since then. Well, maybe that's what happened. Nobody did, and then that was it. LaDonna Rogers is here. Robert Custos is here. And look at this. We got $2 from Blackheart Knight. He wants News Now Voodoo to get a mega ultra tase.
That sounds good to me. All right, Voodoo, thou shalt be tased.
Oh no, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. You brought this guy back up here again?
Oh, really? Well, I'm just going to have to slap the crap out of you then. How's that? I'm going to do it through the internet, and you can't do anything about it. So you are dead. You are punished. You are chastised.
No, not again, please, no.
It's going to hurt
No.
again.
Oh, damn it.
I'm going to hit you again. You're screaming, whiny crybaby.
Well, that wouldn't be a frauditor if I didn't. Oh, that hurts. Oh, not another one. Dang, damn it. And I'm supposed to get tased by Blackheart Knight. I don't want no.
Oh my goodness gracious
That
me!
was a mega ultra tase, that's for sure.
I love it. Oh man. Mr. Thomas has a question for you.
Okay, Mr. Thomas. I have to ponder.
Why are David E. Person's pens bad at telling secrets? They just leak all the time.
Never heard that one before.
Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh. So anyway, like we're goofing around having fun, but for real, how you doing today? How's your morning going so far?
It's going good. I've got a meeting I've got to go to a little later. We're having a breakfast meeting so we can have a meeting about the meeting that we're going to have later. So we're meeting about the meeting.
So well, hey, there you go.
So it's better than meeting about the meeting, but it's still a meeting about the meeting.
Right. Well, my favorite meetings are when you have a meeting to set up a meeting to discuss what the meeting's going to be about. When you have the meeting that you're scheduling,
the meeting before the meeting. Yeah, that's right.
It's almost like, in some ways, like when I watch some of these court hearings, some of them are like that. We got to have a hearing to discuss what we're going to do at the hearing, so that we can set up the hearing. So that before we go to trial, it's like
we're not going to have a preliminary hearing about the preliminary hearing, so that we can have a justification for the preliminary hearing.
Right.
Thank you.
Blackheart Knight. Here's a good dad joke. Who's not Voodoo's a dad?
Oh yeah. Hey, is baby awake yet?
Yes. I heard you mention my daddy. Hi guys, good to see you. Hello, Mr. Persons. Good to have you back.
Hi, baby. How you doing, buddy? Is he still making you live in a box?
Oh, no. He downgraded it to a plastic cup. Yeah, and he puts the lid on it.
Okay, well, you know what I think we need to do? Hey, get close to the speaker again. This is a secret.
Yeah.
You need to go tase him until he goes. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that.
That'll be fun.
Yay, thank you. Yay. Okay. Wait, Highway Star said I want to know what condition my condition was in. Oh, yeah, Kenny Rogers, man. Okay, hold on. Daddy. What do you want, you butterbrain douche canoe bunghole sandwich eater? I don't know what any of that means, but What did you want to say? Read the newspaper. What? Newspaper? What are you talking about? What does it say? News Now Voodoo replaces Musk as head of Doge, the Department of Goofy Dummies. News Now Voodoo also states department will smell much less musky. Yeah, and my dog's a husky. Get it? Yeah, there's no bones in ice cream, man. And that's where the calcium comes from. Anyway, I don't know what this little punk is trying to do, bringing me up here for no reason. Ow! What? Ow! No, not that!
I hope it hurt.
It hurts so bad.
Oh man. Mathematical
That's
proof.
what you get for frauditing.
What?
That's what he gets for frauditing. Besides,
Yeah.
There's the mathematical proof. We worked it out. Frauditors are really profoundly ignorant and arrogant. There's the mathematical proof right there.
I love it. All right. Anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this parted. Let's see. It looks like what's the first one I'm gonna do? How about we got Chile de Castro's lawsuit. Have you heard about this thing?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Is this Mr. DRC's breakdown of it? It was pretty interesting.
Well, we actually got this guy did a version of it that we were gonna show.
Oh, okay, great. Let's go for it.
Blackheart Knight person.
Well, Blackheart Knight does good videos, so let's do that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Blackheart Knight. Let's go.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Patrick Darcy's review of Chile de Castro's recent grade school level legal document that's supposedly his lawsuit against those that apparently wronged him, including the judge that ruled in his favor. Why would you sue a judge that ruled in your favor? Are you that damn hateful of the law that you gotta sue somebody that helped you out? Yeah, you're really pathetic, Chile. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this freaking S-show on the road, shall we?
Well, Chile's got his latest federal lawsuit, so I thought I would take a quick look at it. I'm not going to rewrite like the other ones. I'm not bothering with that. I got too much to do. But let's take a look at some initial observations. I'm not going in the time element that I used to because it wasn't really worth my time. The writing is getting better, but it doesn't read like a trial lawyer wrote it. It has logical inconsistencies. It has problems, but what we'll do is we'll just stand back and allow it to be attacked. See, it's already been filed. And the things I'm mentioning now are going to be mentioned by the lawyers anyway, and they're going to mention more, which I'm not even going to get into. So minor things, you're supposed to bold and center this, no big deal, 14-point font. Noticed here, he's saying that he's suing Judge Zimmerman in her individual capacity while calling her a judge. Same with Judge Levitt. A little ironic that he's suing the judge that reversed his two convictions. Of course, that reversal was a ridiculous decision. It was absolutely ridiculous. It had no basis in law, in fact.
Well, Patrick, unfortunately, in this particular occasion, the stars lined up in his favor. He had a halfway decent lawyer, and the prosecution, well, he didn't do his due diligence, didn't study up on anything in this particular occasion.
In fact, I proved that the order that was entered was wrong as well. Couldn't even get the name of the case right. Wilson with 2 L's. I think he filed 5 grounds for appeal, lost on 4. And the one that I quote unquote got wrong was the one that wasn't even briefed in the appellate brief. I mean, if this was a real appellate proceeding, that would have never made the light of day. But whatever. Hey, you know what? I congratulated him. He got the win. I forgot. This isn't being written by anyone else, so I had to strike out the comes now. Normally, you just say Jose de Castro and then define it as a plaintiff. National commentator, right away, that will cause him to be either a person who is a public figure or a limited purpose public figure. A limited purpose public figure be somebody who inserts themselves into public dialogue. So let's say there is a national crisis regarding, I don't know, rectal thermometers, and the person then inserts themselves into the national discussion, leading for the change of the way rectal thermometers are made and marketed. We would say then by inserting himself into that dialogue, he has made himself a person that's of a limited public person because it's for a specific purpose. Now, that is not to be confused with a person who is of limited purpose. That's altogether different, and that is not what we're talking about. Couldn't help myself, a retaliatory prosecution.
Patrick, yeah, anytime anybody does anything against a frauditor, it is always considered retaliation by the frauditor. Even if you do something as simple as give them a cam back, it's considered retaliation by them because they want to play that victim card. They want to be seen as the innocent victim and everything, even though they're the ones that caused the whole shit show to happen to begin with.
Well, there's facts that are missing here that causes them to be.
All right, so real quick, I want to comment on that because we hear that so much. I want to double down on that. Like, it's gotten to the point now where it's like, if they actually do, like, say, like they're driving without a license plate, right? And they get pulled over. It's retaliation. Retaliation against what? You breaking the law? They're retaliating against you committing a crime?
Well, and yeah, no kidding. That's exactly
retaliating
right.
at me. What? Go ahead.
That's exactly right. And they're getting to the point where some of them are making this argument. Well, you don't have any authority over me. Who are you to? I mean, if enforcing the law, you don't have any authority over me because you know reasons. And it's
Right.
it's ridiculous. I mean, yes, police have authority over you. I hate to break it to you, but they have authority over you anywhere, at any time for any reason that is reasonable and articulable. I'm sorry, they just do. You know, like this guy who pepper sprayed this fellow who grabbed his camera. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
He pepper sprays him, and then I've actually made a comment on NCR's. I made a comment on NCR's version of that video, and several people argued, well, it's the Second Amendment. Once he was assaulted, he could do whatever he wanted. No, two things. A, you have to have a continuum of force, and it wasn't him that got assaulted. The guy admits, oh, well, they just touched my hand. He actually says that in the video, but his camera got insulted. And of course, his camera has First Amendment rights, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but they take all of this stuff, like you're saying. No, police have absolute authority. It's not retaliation. It's not anything else. They are enforcing the law. Now, if there is a cop retaliating, then that needs to be dealt with. But it's so rare, and so, I mean, cops don't do that.
Right. And again, even if they do, not these ones.
Yeah, exactly. What's that guy Frank Slope was saying on one of his? He has a channel now, by the way. Frank Sloop's got a new channel out where he comments on stuff. It's really interesting.
Okay.
But one of the things he was commenting on is that cops are not going to lie on the stand. They're not going to risk their entire career to get someone convicted of a petty traffic crime.
Right.
And they're just not. It's not worth it. 99.9% of police are not going to retaliate. They're not going to do anything they're not supposed to. It's just ridiculous.
Well, this is one of the things that's insane about these guys and their sycophant, brainwashed, lens-licking followers. I watched recently. One of them, like this guy who does this show. I forget who he is. I don't care to advertise his channel anyway. But he's like some guy who like does commentary, like but pro frauditor commentary. Almost like a here's the deal type guy.
Right.
And his whole thing was he was talking about that, and what he was essentially saying was that these cops are retaliating against us and doing this, and they're lying on the stand. And his proof that they're lying on the stand is like, I gave him a lawful order. We caught him lying. That wasn't a lawful order. He asked me for ID. He told me to step out of the vehicle. That's not a lawful order. Haha, got him. He lied.
which is total nonsense. I mean, and a lot of states are not, stop and ID states, and that's true. But once you are suspected of a crime or you're being investigated for a crime or they think you did something, you have to give them your ID, period. End of story, end of discussion in every state in the union. And I mean, now they can't just randomly stop you and say, give me your ID, but that's not what's going on with any of these.
I just said the ID thing off the top of my head. But the point was they were accusing him of lying on the stand and committing perjury because, again, these guys, if they get pulled over, it's not a lawful traffic stop.
Oh, of course not.
Because there's no such thing. If you trespass them, it's not a lawful trespass because they can't be trespassed. So if the cop says, well, he was trespassing, then they'll say, oh, see, there's proof. He lied on the stand. He said I was trespassing. It's like, well, you were. It's like, no, I wasn't because I was filming. So that makes it, you know what? It's like they take their definitions of words that are not the actual definitions. And then when they hear the cops say those words, say, here, we got proof that he lied on the stand.
Basically, they're taking their opinion and making it the law. Yeah, you're right. They're taking their opinion and then making that the law and saying, well, they didn't comply with my opinion, so therefore they're lying.
Right.
Which is just silly.
Right. And then their fans are in the comments like, haha, you caught him lying. I can't believe he actually lied and said that it was a lawful arrest. It was a kidnapping. He lied saying he arrested you. He should have said the truth that he kidnapped you. Like, yeah, that's going to happen. What?
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's gotten to the point where these guys are no longer just frauditors. They're anarchists. They really are. A lot of them, they want to, I mean, their understanding of the First Amendment is it allows them to do anything they want, anytime they want, any place they want, for any reason they want, because they have a camera.
Yes.
I mean,
it's insane.
That seems to be their interpretation of the law, and it's not. And same thing with getting, if they don't have the authority to pull you over, why'd you stop?
Right?
If they don't have the authority to do something, why are you listening to them?
Well,
if the court doesn't have authority, why are you showing up?
Right. That's one of the things too. Like when they say that, it's always a great excuse because, well, there's two parts to that. There's the one is, well, I'm not that name. But I'm here because you're threatening me with arrest. If you're not that name, then I'm not threatening you with arrest. I'm threatening that person with arrest. If you're not that person, then I'm not threatening you.
But I'm not. That's not. That's not my all caps name. My all caps name has $1 billion that the government owes me, and I'm just going to pay my fine with that.
No. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Oh man.
Now that would be nice if it were true, but it's not.
Because then why wouldn't everybody just do that and be rich?
Or why don't these guys just go access it and pay their fine and be done?
Yeah, that's it. If you owe somebody money, then go get your cash and then hand it to them.
Man, I would like. You know what? I think I'm going to go to Mont Blanc tomorrow, buy every pen in the place, and send the government the bill. What do you think?
Yeah, send it on a 1099 form.
Yeah, we'll send it on 1099, and then Mont Blanc will get paid by the government. And I'll have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of pens. I love it. That's it. I'm going to do it.
I'm going to buy a house. All right. Let's get back to the video anyway, guys. Yeah. These guys are so dumb. Wrong one. Still wrong one. No, that's the right one. Okay.
The inferential leaps that go wrong. It's a balancing act. I mean, I don't know why it was written and sometimes the way it was. But it says a constitutional rights advocate following his exposure of police misconduct. And that's not really developed very well, but it is an introduction. Jose de Castro, a national commentator, now we'll get into malice now, constitutional malice for his defamation claim. Arrested, convicted, and incarcerated. And then I made 4 violations of his constitutional rights. I mean, that's really what this is. The presiding judge, he doesn't identify who it is, but if you know the case, then you know who he's referring to. Formerly married to a law enforcement, proposed a sentence so no similarly charged defendant ever received before. Well, he's only referencing one NRS statute right here, this, but he was actually convicted for 2, so another mistake. Okay.
What?
Okay. And so Also, I gave him it was either Hibbert or Heibel, a little foggy in my memory. It was December of last year. And that actually, ironically, was on his trifold. And that case said no jail time for convictions of resisting and obstructing. And the obstruction was a little different. It was a local charge. But still, the idea was the guy only got a $250 fine going all the way up to the Supreme Court of Nevada. I gave him that. That was his literally get out of jail card for $200 if he or his lawyer would have just submitted it to the judge, especially when the prosecutor only asked for a suspended sentence. Large swing and a miss. Tried to help you there, Chili.
Patrick, hold on just a second. Don't you realize that Chili is the smartest man on the planet, and therefore he will not accept help, any legal help, from anybody who is actually smarter than him? Because he's on a whole other level than what you are on. You're way up here, he's way down here, so he can't really see you trying to give him that help.
And then here it says, basically they're saying that Judge Zimmerman is biased because of her background. Well, one big problem for you there is judicial immunity. Secondly, you only have a certain amount of time to disqualify a judge. And at least in California, it's a 170.6 motion. You would do it within a certain amount of time and usually before any major decisions or any decisions on the merits have been made by that judge to prevent judge and forum shopping and things like that. So if you're claiming that she retained his surname after the divorce, then that would be disclosed to you. I mean, how'd you find it out now? Could have found that out before the trial or before before she sat on your, sat and listened to your case. The core issue was plaintiff's criticism of law enforcement. I don't agree with that. Not in terms of your conviction. This was a little bit strange. She says, what should have been a citation. Well, that is actually a very careless thing to write right there, because it suggests now that you're saying that you're admitting that the encounter was valid. You only should have issued me a citation.
I swear sometimes Chili must be hopped up on angel dust when he writes these things, because, well, if he wasn't able to catch that he admitted to, well, the crime in this particular document, he must have been dipping his head in that snow.
For what? Wrongful conduct? Ooh, ooh, ouch. Oh, what's that? Dr. Evil? I've been hearing from him and Scott. You guys know about that. Scott, did you write that in the complaint? Scott? Where are my laser beams on the heads of my sharks? Okay. In 2023 and 2024, I don't really like the way that's written either. Platform reached over 40 million views. Now we get into defamation. When he tries to bring that case, if he does, he's now under the standard of constitutional malice, which means person who's being sued has to be reckless or malicious in a way that it's a lie. Not negligence anymore. Malice, constitutional malice. Regularly exposing excessive use of force, constitutional. Okay, so anyway, then I said, I took this out, resulting judicial and prosecutorial retaliation. I mean, I'm not writing this for him, but I can't help myself because I just, this was arrested, filming a traffic stop. Not true. It wasn't because of the traffic stop that you were filming. Judge Zimmerman said that. A misdemeanor charge filed. Actually, there were 2 misdemeanors. So this is a problem. I talked to Scott during the break, and he's apologizing. He's lost more hair over this. Judge Zimmerman denied scheduling flexibility. Well, guess what, Chili? I just had a trial in Los Angeles where the judge refused to move the trial date. It had nothing to do with judicial bias. He just didn't want to do it. He didn't think there was a reason for it. And also, she did grant you continuances. Remember when she gave you an extended continuance because you said you're going to be out of the country? Remember what they're going to say back to you. Refuse standby counsel, which is always kind of an iffy thing anyway for a judge. They don't really like it because you don't know what you're doing as a lawyer because you're not a lawyer, and then you make an error, and then what the other lawyers will say, oh, hey, you know what, we'll try to fix that now. These are constitutional liberties, in essence, she's trying to protect, which is why she went with an experienced attorney like Michael Me and not you, because you're not a lawyer. These are all conclusory statements, exculpatory evidence, accepted false officer testimony. Bottom line is that is part of a trial, unfortunately, and she has the decision as the trier of fact to decide whether or not she believes him or not. Okay. And then if you sue him for his false testimony, which is what I thought I saw you say on a video, at least in California, that's protected by the defamation, the litigation privilege. So that would be anti-slapped as well. And then I just kind of messed around with this. On March 15th, plaintiff was arrested and charged with 2 misdemeanors. Be better because you only say 1 here. And okay. Plaintiff was also subject to unlawful physical search. Well, what law was broken? What statute was violated? You know, if it's unlawful, explain why. By bailiffs under Judge Zimmerman's direction. Well, now, at least in California, if she's making decisions from the bench, she has immunity, okay? There are grounds where a judge does not have immunity. For example, personnel decisions and things. And that was one of the cases, the Forrester case, I think you cited. Well, by the way, the Forrester case was amended in 1996. So you are absolutely right, Chili. You need legal research tools that the professionals use. I use Lexis. I like it a lot better than Westlaw, but it's a matter of personal preference. I don't like Westlaw. I've been using Lexis for 20 years. And I have found all kinds of cases. And without it, you're kind of in a bad situation because you're going to have the other attorneys who probably are trial lawyers like me loading up on the cases. It's going to come down to a battle of pleadings before we even get to the point of the trial. And remember, when you appeal this, because I think you said you expect to lose, the appellate record is developed by what's argued at the trial court level. And that would include pleadings, especially if they lead to dismissal. Bailiffs under Judge Zimmerman's direction, well, you know, again, if that was an order from the bench, like what happened in LA, then you know what? There's immunity. Disrupted plaintiff's assembly with supporters. How does that really be a right that you were deprived of? You said reviewing judge is better since you got more than one judge named to name who it was. And she vacated the bond hearing process because your attorney submitted to her the same brief. And believe me, it was brief, 4 pages, cited to 1 case, if I remember. And it even didn't cite to the case that actually mattered, which was post-conviction relief, not pre-trial detention. There's not much for her to look at. So now you're claiming that's a violation by her? Well, no, you submitted that through your lawyer. So no, that argument sucks. And suffering irreversible professional harm. That's not what you're saying on your YouTube channel, because I do watch your channel, Chili. Plaintiff's conviction, since you were convicted of more than one charge, you would make it plural, ultimately overturned. Ultimately is a weird word. I see trial lawyers using that word. Ultimately, we'll have to decide ultimately what the ultimate facts are, but ultimately that's your decision. No. But not before he spent 4 months in jail, missing his cousin's death, and suffering irreversible professional harm. Irreversible. Well, if you're asking for $45 million, remember, Dr. Evil is here, then it sounds like whatever harm you suffered, it would be fixed by the $45 million. If not, explain to me why I'm wrong about that. If you're talking about irreparable harm, that's harm that cannot be remedied by money. In here, just notice that conduct taken outside the scope of judicial immunity, and you would kind of want to include that again as you. And then I thought it would be John Holmes. I thought was not Doe. There was a John Doe, by the way, as well, who was the compatriot to John Holmes, for those of you keeping score. Judge Zimmerman immediately denied plaintiff's request without inquiry. That, believe me, that happens all day to us. That doesn't make the judge biased. It just says the judge said no. And remember, she did grant continuances. Look at the docket. You leave out a lot of dates. This demonstrated her early bias conclusory. And again, if you find out these facts about her before she took the bench in your case, then you really are handicapped when you say that it's the reason why you needed to get a different judge. And then you mentioned that her last name was retained by the cop and that this was never disclosed. Well, I don't know that the judge needs to make a disclosure about who she was married to and why she kept their name. But if you found this all out and the name she has is the name of the prior cop, then it was disclosed because it's already out there in the public domain. I still wouldn't do any of this. So that leads me to question how a federal judge would look at this and say, are you asking Nevada now to disqualify every judge in a criminal case and where they were married, dating, a family relationship with a police officer or former police officer? And then what about the former prosecutors who become judge? Plaintiff was arrested while lawfully filming a traffic stop. Kind of misleading. So you're leaving stuff out that kind of fills in the cracks. Anyway, physically searched by bailiff's judgment's direction. So this sounds like an authorized act. And then you mentioned this was a little unusual. You put this right next to something else. It was executed. Avoid using it. It is a very unconventional way of starting a sentence, an indefinite pronoun. Then it has to refer directly to what it was referring to before. And was performed in a demeaning manner. The search was demeaning. And then right after that, you mentioned how you called the person a pig. So let's kind of like balance that one out for a second. Kind of a problem, isn't it? You do not like that the search was done in a demeaning manner, which just looked kind of routine to me, but you called the other side a pig. Okay. And when it says judge proceeded to trial without recusal, well, did you try to recuse her? Did you try to get her to step down? Did you file any motions? Did you paper the judge, as they say? No. And I just said, and none of these were, none of them were incarcerated, some shit like that. Again, I'm not really trying to rewrite this thing. Then I was just mentioning plaintiff's sentence of 30 days for each conviction represented a major departure for all prior sentencings for similar defendants. You might want to start, and this was just off top of my head, took that out. This looks like it was really part of your Monell claim. There's really no such thing in my book as an ex-party communication between a bailiff and a judge because she works for the judge. All of these pretty much are conclusory, which will not bode well for you on the 12B6 motions. Paragraphs need to be numbered, prior incorporation of allegations for that specific claim. Just writing a couple of sentences for each claim that'll invite an attack right away. And then for Forrester, you called it an administrative act. Well, there's the functional test, Chile. I took a look into it because I don't practice the kind of law, but it took me all of 20 minutes to kind of understand it. The Forrester decision you mentioned here, I don't know where you got it from, but it is good law. However, it has been modified. And now it was modified in 1996 for a basis that isn't relevant here. But you see, you would have to reference to the judge that there was an amendment to that law and partially overruled and changed by federal legislation. Then all conclusions. Here is where Dr. Evil enters the chat. By the way, on a Monell claim, you're trying to say that the county, the city, the government is responsible for all this abuse. The employees that do this, the county's not responsible for that. But you have to show that the county is the decision maker, the one who makes this happen and is indifferent and all that other stuff. So there's no respondeat superior liability. If you find individual cops doing these things, then, you still have to go back to the municipality. And you cite cases, time I total up was what, $45 million? $45 million. Punitive damages. Equitable relief. Now that will be an interesting.
All right. This is almost over, but I got to say something too. One of the things I noticed about all of these guys' court proceedings, the frauditors and the sovereign citizens, and it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, but on a different level, is that they write this paperwork and they make their arguments in court as if and it's really weird because it's like when they get pulled over or when they get stopped, it's like they have this idea of what they think the law is. And obviously we all know they're wrong.
Very much so, yeah.
But they tend to seem to believe that the judges and the lawyers and these people know the truth, which is their interpretation, their insane interpretation of the law is the truth. And the judges and the lawyers know that. So they're going to write these papers and they're going to say, like, you have to, give me this money because this judge was doing something wrong because they did something that was wrong. Okay, so what?
Well, and Darcy had a good point about Chili's argument about you're going to recuse every judge in the state that has any relationship with a police officer. You're not going to have any judges,
right?
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, all that entire brief shows you exactly what's wrong with the whole with their whole movement. They don't understand the law. Period.
Right. Exactly. And that's it. And it's like I'm going to make all these arguments about all this stuff that doesn't hold up, but it has to hold up because I'm right, and they know I'm right because they're judges, so they know. It's like
And
they
they're
have to know you're
conspiring
wrong.
against us. They're conspiring against all of us because they're, judges. They want our money. It's
Right.
just I mean, and these guys are just, especially. I mean, this particular case, Chili. Basically, his argument is that they swore an oath to protect my rights, not anybody else's, just mine. And anybody's rights who conflict with mine, or interests who conflict with mine, or ideas who conflict with mine are illegal because
Right.
I'm right and you're wrong.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Like one of the there's Doc Linnell. What's up, Doc?
Hey, Doc, how you doing, man?
Tiny's here. I didn't say hello. Let's see, Leland, of course. Anyone else I missed? Let's see. P. Barnes, Lisa Alcazar, which in Chili's eyes, hurting his fifis is against the law. Victoria B. What's up? Anyone else I didn't say hello to? Welcome to the show. Great to have you here, as always.
Oh, hey, did you hear about News Now Voodoo? Check out, there was a big. He got an award.
News Now Voodoo named Centerfold of the Year for the Dipsticks Are Us magazine. News Now Voodoo wins swimsuit competition. Takes last place in the talent show. All right.
Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. All right. I want to make my acceptance speech now while we're on the air. Thank you so much to Dipsticks R Us for this award. The swimsuit competition, as you all know. Woohoo! Look at me shorts. Yeah. That's how I won. That's right. The talent competition I lost, that was difficult. Because I was up against Chili de Castro for his talent in writing trifolds, and I had no chance of holding up against that. And then the other candidate was Glenn Serio and his ability to knock people over with his stench. Yeah, so I didn't really have much help. My whole thing was to see how much shrimp I could eat in 5 minutes, but I had already filled up on Quackapoo. Yeah, no, wait, I mean quacka meat. Yeah, I didn't eat that. Help me, Hezum. I screwed up. I admitted something I shouldn't have said on the air. What the hell, man? Thank you guys for this award. Amen. Bye.
Oh, hey, Hez, I've got something for him. Here, let me send this to you through the internet, okay?
What the heck? What is that?
I'm sending you something.
Ow! What the? Wait, what?
Yes, that News Now Voodoo, he's a punk, that's for sure. All right. Anyway, guys, let's check out it's like a minute left, so let's go ahead and finish up this video real quick, and then we'll move on. All right, let's go.
Argument here, Chili, at least in California, forgot the civil code section, but the idea of unclean hands, not the YouTuber, but unclean hands, when you do something that is considered wrongful, and bad, if they can point to that, then you're asking for what's called equitable relief, which is a relief that does not have a jury trial. It's done by a judge. and the judge is balancing the factors, they can use that to deny all claims. The attorney's fees, now that's your major weapon. That's what the insurance carriers are looking at when all these lawyers are on the case, is how can we pay to get out? So settlement, always possible with the 1983 claim. I didn't know about the anticipated defense. I've never seen that before. All right, so that's it. We'll wait for the attack pleas to come in, and then I'll take a look. Wish you all a good day, and catch you on the next one.
So overall, there's a slim chance Chile might get a settlement out of this. Nowhere near the millions of dollars that he might get. He might get lawyers' fees and everything like that if they find in his favor. But overall, probably not. They probably won't find in his favor because this is written like a fourth grader had wrote it up. Chile claims to be a 20-year law scholar, yet he doesn't know the basics of writing up lawsuits like this. Yeah, it just goes to show that he doesn't know jack shit about anything, and well, that's the typical grifter mentality. Yeah, don't know jack shit about anything. Well, pretend that you do, and well, get as much money as you can out of a situation. Yeah, that's always the case. Fake it until you make it. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Blackheart 9. And let's hear it for Chile. I'm telling you. So anyway, yeah, that's that debacle of a lawsuit. Holy crap, hammer sandwich. You know, it's funny too, because like, especially with someone like him, it's like, you know, we could look at all kinds of court paperwork by all kinds of frauditors and soft-sits and laugh at it. But when you're somebody who's specifically going out of your way to present yourself as this person who's an expert on this stuff, even more so than lawyers, and you don't even know how to use the right font, let alone make the proper arguments or whatever. Like, he has no idea what the hell he's doing.
And he needs to learn how to use pronouns. He really does. It doesn't say anything. I mean, you know, what's it?
Right. Well, that's kind of like what I was getting to earlier. You know, like these guys, and I've seen them argue in court too, not just, you know, like on paperwork, but actually make these arguments where it's like, yeah, that police officer violated my rights. How? What do you mean, how? You saw the video. Okay, so what did he do that was a violation of your rights? I can't. You guys are just acting like you don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. You know,
of course, reasons, that thing, you know.
Right.
The thing you get by the thing, by the place of the time.
Right. It's like you're the one making the claim, so you don't have to back it up. Well, it's not my job to do your research for you. You're the one making the claim. So show me the proof that your claim is legit.
You know, and this all goes back to that hearing. If you remember 3 or 4 years ago, Chile was trying to get a protective order against Josh Abrams and Peters. And listen to his argument in that hearing, and you get tells you everything you need to know about what's going on with him. It was I've never seen. I mean, it had to be pretty pathetic if you find yourself rooting for Josh Abrams,
right?
I mean,
Yep. Oh man, yeah, that's bad. So let's see. We got about 20 minutes until the cupcake dance. How about some unclean hands? With some,
okay.
All right, here we go. All right, let's get this parted. I said that last time. Let's get this stuff happening with the things there and the other stuff.
Let's do the thing by the place.
Yeah, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, Frauditor gets illegally stopped for broken windshield, gets a ticket, and cries for an hour. Hey, Sue Bear's here, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Hey, Sue Bear.
All right. Here we go, yo. What's the scenario? I don't know. Let's find out.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Great to see you. Hit that subscribe button, like button, share button, whatever you want to push, go ahead and push it. Or you can literally end the video and do it then. Anyway, today we're looking at the Central Tyrant Investigations, who got pulled over for a retaliatory traffic stop, a legal traffic stop according to him, and he got a ticket for a broken windshield, and he is not happy about it. He's going to go to the police station and complain and try and whine about it. So let's get right into it.
We found it. We found the police department. We found the police department.
Here's the part where I cut out about 15 minutes of dead air. He dragged this thing on for an hour, and all he's doing is running his mouth. So let's move on.
We just got pulled over, guys. I told the officer, and he pulled me over while he was sitting in the median. So he gave me a ticket. Hey, smash that like button if y'all can. Smash that like button. Let's go check out some police vehicles, y'all. Let's go check out some police vehicles.
Since nobody cares and everyone knows like a police vehicle looks like, let's not. How about that?
Let's go get this complaint form. Yes, sir. Dispatch. Look at the transparency, guys. Look at it. So, dispatch, they have blocked windows. Records, wide open windows. Come on now. Come on now. I gotta pick up the phone. It's Jake from State Farm. I need file a complaint. I need a complaint form. What? I have to speak to an officer to file a complaint? And how do they document that? Sergeant, your sergeant. Yeah, he's on duty right now. Yeah, he pulled me over. So he gave me a ticket. So I need to speak with somebody else that's not him, because I can't file a complaint, on the same guy I'm taking the complaint to, so. All right. Can anybody come out here, or? All right. Thank you. Bye. All right, y'all. It looks like we got to wait for a supervisor to come. And that guy that pulled me over, he was a sergeant. His name is Tony Flynn, Officer Flynn. ID number 176. And let me show you guys the violation here. Defective windshield. All because we flipped them off. Stupid visor, you're right about that.
Although this is quite fascinating, I think we'll move right ahead to the officer coming out.
So, what's up? Not too happy.
Okay, real quick, because this goes back to what we were saying earlier. Like, it's like, I need to file a complaint. Why? Because the police were retaliating against me. Why? Because they pulled me over because my windshield was broken.
How dare they?
What?
That's just so terrible of them.
Right? It's like everything is retaliation. It's like he pulled me over because I flipped him off. It just used the fact that I was doing a violation as an excuse. And that's one of the things I love, too, that these guys always bring up. Like, man, these guys are fishing. They're just looking for a reason to arrest me. Well, did you give them a reason to arrest you?
You know,
Right.
forget the fact they're engaged in total disorderly conduct. You know, that's got nothing to do with it.
Right. It's like if you in where he's at, if you can get pulled over for a cracked windshield, and you get pulled over for a cracked windshield, and then you say, "Oh, well, he just pulled me over because I flipped him off, and he's using the cracked windshield as an excuse." Well, wait a minute. If you live in an area where you know that you could get pulled over for having a cracked windshield, and you see a cop, you're going to draw attention to yourself so that he'll notice that your windshield is cracked by
Well, I mean,
whether
it
you're
really,
giving a finger or waving hello. You're making him look at you and notice that your window's broken.
but this really also speaks to the level of narcissism with most of these guys. They really think that they're that important, and all these cops are just waiting for them to come by so they can mess with them. You know, like they have nothing better to do than mess with some pudgy kid who has a cell phone camera. I'm sure the cops don't really care one way or the other. If they see a violation on a windshield, they're going to pull you over. And that's a big safety hazard. If that window crack gets big enough, the windshield could collapse in on you, or who knows what. But, you know, it's always about, you're right. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This is the most narcissistic, solipsistic, self-aggrandizing bunch I have ever seen in my life.
Yep. And there's no footage of it, of course.
Of course not.
But we've seen enough. Again, I don't know because there's no footage of it. But I've seen enough of these videos to know that if I had to guess, I would say that it probably was, hey, you have a cracked windshield. That's not good. Maybe you should get it fixed and let him go with a warning. Or maybe give him a fix-it ticket. But for some reason, I get the feeling that he wasn't like, hello, sir. Here's my ID. But no, I'm willing to bet that it was, what you pull me over for, you scumbag pig? What's wrong with you, you piece of crap? And talking themselves into a ticket.
Oh, I can almost guarantee you that's what it was. Yeah, it was something like that.
Right. Whatever, he didn't cooperate, he argued, because they always do, right? It's like, it could have been a warning. Hey, make sure you get your windshield fixed. Oh, okay. You know. But
Even
no,
though
you pulled me over because they flipped you off.
Yeah, even though I pulled over and I showed you my license, you have no authority over me whatsoever, you scumbag.
Right. Anyway, let's see what else this
And
idiot.
you know why? Hey, you know why, right?
Why?
You know why? Because cops are bad.
Oh, because cops are bad. Okay. Yep. That's it. That's the answer to every question with these guys. You know, why do you pick on old ladies? Because cops are bad. Why do you post pictures of children? Because cops are bad.
That girl I called last week wouldn't go out on a date with me. Well, cops are bad.
Yep. All right, let's. Here we go, guys.
Yeah. All right, nice to meet you.
How can I help you?
I just got a retaliatory citation from Tony Flynn, which is one of your sergeant.
Okay.
He was in the median out there in front of the mall, and I expressed my First Amendment right. And
Do you want to sit down?
No, I don't need to sit down. And I don't remember what I did. I think I flipped him off because I remember who he was in the past.
Oh, from before?
Yeah, I've dealt with him before. And he pulled out and pulled me over. And the reason he pulled me over was because I flipped him off. But he didn't say that. So I can't really say that was the reason for the stop. But he did give me a citation for a crack in my windshield. And the crack literally I thought that it just had to obstruct your view.
Oh, don't worry, folks. I researched the law in Illinois on cracked windshields, and it does not specify that it has to be obstructing your view. It just has to be broken. That's all it has to be. Anyway, that's his excuse, and he just admitted that he got a ticket for a crack that he indeed had on his windshield. And in a minute, they'll tell you it's about 8 inches long, so, you know. Luckily, we don't have that same law here in Texas unless it actually obstructs your view, because I drove around with a broken windshield for 3 years. Never got a ticket for it. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay.
And it does not obstruct my view whatsoever. So, and it just happened. So,
Oh, it just cracked?
yeah, literally a Billman truck. You know, with the Billman rock trucks.
Yeah.
So he
That's
came.
actually happened before.
Really? Yeah. So it's like the crack is in the corner of my windshield, and it's like to like right here. So like I have clear view of the road and everything, but I think he wanted a reason to legally.
I'm sorry, I mean, How
Yeah.
far up does it go?
Just like, so my eye level is right here. The crack is like right to here, and the little thing is right here. So it's maybe like 7-8 inches long. But when it hit the windshield, it just cracked. So it just happened.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good, man. But the reason for this.
Okay, wait a minute. Unclean Hands pointed it out, but really?
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking the same thing, I think.
I'm here to file a complaint against this officer. Why? Because he wrote me a ticket for having a crack in my windshield. Okay, yeah, and it's just an 8-inch crack. Oh, so there is a crack in your windshield. So you're
Yeah, but
admitting
it's a little one. It's not a big one.
yeah, it's only 8 inches. Like what? Does he like some? Would he like some cheese with his wine?
In order to give me a ticket, it has to be at least 24 inches. What's wrong with you?
Right. Oh man, that's awesome. Oh my goodness. Let's hear some more of this nonsense from this idiot.
Stop was because I did flip him off because I knew. So
Why did you flip him off?
I don't like him.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like him. I don't like Officer Flynn. Well, I've recorded in the past before, and he's followed my vehicle. So I document police. That's what I do. And he's followed me, and basically intimidation. And actually, he said something to me as I was getting out. He said something, but I can't remember. But it was not professional. Yeah, it was not professional. So I don't know. I guess, do you know what a defective windshield would be?
Dagnabbit, I'm sorry, I gotta stop it again, but he just said something. This is another thing I've noticed with these guys. And I hear this all the time. If you're driving and you're on the road and there are other cars on the road and the car that's behind you is a squad car, he's following me to try and intimidate me.
Oh, no, not that. Not the being on the same street at the same time thing. Oh, no, I'm being stalked. Oh, no.
Right. How are the squad cars supposed to travel from point A to point B? They have a teleporter? Like,
Shh, no, that's a secret, man. The police teleporter. No one's supposed to know about that.
oh man. It's like you're the one that's being intimidated by having a cop behind you. Why? Why does that intimidate you? What are you doing? Like, and I mean, I get it. You know, I know like if there's a cop behind me, I'm gonna really watch my speed, you know, and stuff like that, and make sure I use my signals and everything properly, more like I always do. But you know what I mean? When there's a cop behind you, you're more hyper aware of those things. So
You're aware of your signal turning. Yeah, I mean, it's like anybody who sees a cop behind them, all of a sudden they remember to turn left and turn their turn signal on and that kind of thing. Yeah, you're right. But they're not stalking him. They're not going after him. He just happened to be there. I mean, give me a break. You know, what was it ACDC said? Paranoia will destroy you.
Yeah, yep. That's exactly right. But let's see, what do we got? We got about 7 minutes to the cupcake dance, and that's about how much longer is left in the video. So let's just let this play out, and then we'll hit the cupcake dance. All right, let's go. Ah! Yeah.
So
yeah, that'll teach them.
Legally?
I'd have to look it up. I'll be
Okay.
honest, I don't-
Okay.
It's not a thing that I do every day.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you mind if I look at
Yeah, for sure.
So, you're out.
Yep.
So the officer just read off the Frauditor's name, and later on in the video, he's going to say the officer tried to dox him.
So that's my grandpa's name. His name was Cannon. Yeah. Yep, I'm named after him. So, but yeah, so he gave me it for a defective windshield, which I mean, obviously I'm getting it fixed, but
Sure.
you know, the reason for the stop was because I flipped him off. That was the whole reason he got behind me and pulled me over. So I don't know how I could file a complaint with that, or well, you're recording on your body cam.
I
So
am.
okay,
So,
yeah.
So we have a couple options.
Okay.
Just so you know of how you could do it.
Yeah.
I'll give that back to you.
Okay, thank you.
So we have forms here that you can file.
Oh, she said you didn't have form. Yeah, she said you didn't have forms. Oh, yeah, it should be right here, citizen complaint. So you guys.
I will go back and get one. I thought it was.
Okay.
So now I know it's something I need to fix.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, if you could print one off for me, and then I can, I'll fill it out, and then I'll bring it back to you guys sometime. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could even email it if you want to.
Okay.
Whatever's easiest
Yeah.
for you. And then what we'll do is we look at it. We'll save all the
Okay.
video, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
We'll do a very fair and impartial
Okay.
investigation and look and see
And
if that's what the reason is.
you guys are about officer safety, correct?
Yes, sir.
Sitting in that median is not very safe as an
Which
officer.
median are you talking
You know where the mall? So you're coming off the interstate. You're making a right. So the first light. Yes, the first light, I believe, you got the mall, you can turn left, and then you got the businesses to the right. Yeah, he was sitting in that median, like in the legit median where the concrete is. So he had to pull up on that curve thing and sit there, which I don't think that's very safe for an officer to sit there. But
He's gonna fix the broken windshield. According to his own words. So he knew it was broken. Now he's getting it fixed, and now he's just prattling on about nonsense, telling them how dangerous it was where the cop was sitting and all that. It's all a bunch of bogus bullshit to make his video longer. So let's move right to the end.
Apocalypse, I mean, yeah, he low-key did dox me, but I don't know if he knew what he was doing. I mean, I can't just assume that he automatically knew that he was purposely. Maybe he just wanted to know my name. So.
Let me play the presiding judge here just for a minute. Mr. First Amendment Frauditor, did the officer publish your name to YouTube without redacting it? Mr. Frauditor, no, he didn't. But he said it while I was making a video that I posted to YouTube. The judge responds, guilty. Bye.
I already know. KCA already knows, bro. When that camera is on, bro, it's like it turns him into the most professional person. Like the way he was talking, I would want him to be my dad. Like, it's almost like that, man. The way he was talking, it was like, bro, are you my family member? Oh, man. That's what it said. Ask him where the vault is located. Or where they hide the bodies at. Where they hide the bodies they unalive. Hey, but yeah, that's it right there. Yep, my complaint has been filed into the shredder. You guys already know. It's almost like you guys have been watching these types of things for a long time. Am I single? No. I'm gay. I'm in love. I'm in love with men.
Well, thank you for sharing, but I don't think that has anything to do with you being pulled over and the cop making a false arrest and harassing you and all that. But anyway, more power to you. Nobody cares.
At least he could fake it. Yeah, I know. Most chiefs can't even come out. They can't even step out to talk to you. But at least he was able to come out. Thank you, BZ. Appreciate you.
Well, we appreciate you, Mr. Tyrant First Amendment Frauditor. Appreciate you, but we're kind of tired of listening to you babble on about nonsense, so we're going to end it here, because we don't care either. Anyway, that's all I got for you today, folks. Hope you enjoyed. Love y'all. Bye.
All right, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Unclean Hands.
Yeah, very good, very good.
All right, look at this. What does a frauditor have if he has 8 red Lego bricks in one hand and 16 blue Lego bricks in the other hand? 8. And he has. What do you got if you have 8 red Lego bricks in one hand and 16 blue Lego bricks in the other hand? Really big hands.
Well, it's true.
You were going to say what? The Matrix. All right.
Good. That's very good.
David says that's actually a really good answer. He likes that. All right. Yeah, the guy posted it himself. Doxed himself by posting it.
Yeah, he sure
Happy
did.
Dance. We actually have the Cupcake Happy Dance coming up in 1 minute, so you're just on time. All right. What was that, David?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying hi to Mini Hez.
Oh, and he says hello. Everyone says hello. They all love you.
You need to get Mini Hez to do a concert one day.
Oh, he would love that. I would love that. It's just he just signed up for percussion. He's going to be the drummer in the school band.
Oh, cool. Well, drummers get all the girls, so
Yes, indeed. They tend to be crazy, but that don't matter because, ladies and gentlemen, it's time
for the cup
cake.
Happy
dance. All right, here we go. All right. Okay. Olay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas, for joining us again. Any last words you want to say to the people?
Mr. Thomas.
No, Dr. Thomas. Wait.
Oh.
Because Mr. Thomas, his last comment was about you. Never mind.
Oh,
Mr. Parsons, David E. Parsons.
Thanks for letting me hang out.
Did I seriously call you Mr. Thomas? Holy crap!
That's okay. I'll slap news now later.
There he is. All right. Thank you for joining me once again. Round of applause for David E. Parsons.
It was fun. Thanks for having me.
It's always a great time. You're always welcome up here. And thank all you guys for joining us. You know you're the best fans in the world. We love you. It's a live show. Things happen. It's Uncle Artie. See, it's his fault, dagnabbit. Thank you so much. Like I always say, oh, ho, ho. Yeah, yeah.
I'm all shook up.
Thank you.